So is that, like, imagine having to grade your own paper. Are you going to cheat? Are you going to erase? Are you going to switch your answers just so on the surface it looks like you did good, and miss the point of being able to help yourself grow? Yeah, I mean, some people think that it's impossible to be unbiased to yourself. I just disagree. I think you can be unbiased. I think your imagination can create a scenario where you can envision that if you were experiencing what you made as if someone else made it, what would you say? If your best friend made it, what would you say? If a student made it, what would you say? Like, you can't imagine that? You telling me the imagination don't work like that? You know, you telling me you can't feel the emotion connected to you thinking that what you made is bad? Just like you can feel the emotion connected to if you tell yourself what you made is good. But I generally think that the way artists are being conditioned is being validated for their ability to make something. So once it gets to the point where it's time to grow with what you're making or how you're making it, you're still seeking validation. And validation doesn't help you grow. People can praise you forever and your stuff don't make it grow. We are all artists as children in some way, shape, or form. We figured out some way to express ourselves. And then you go to school and that just get beat out of you real quick. So by the time you 10, you believe that you have or don't have the ability to make something. And the people who believe that they don't have the ability to make anything become the majority. And the smaller group is the group of people who still get praised for their ability to make something, attention for their ability to make something. So now you this artist or this wannabe artist who've been praised your whole life because you have the creative abilities that other people don't explore. So it ain't that these other people can't do it. These other people don't explore it. They don't practice it because psychologically they don't believe that they're capable. They don't think that they have the talent, right? Well, you somebody who believes you have the talent, but your whole relationship with yourself as a creator has been based on people saying that what you do is good because you the only one around them that can do it. So by the time you go have a conversation that would challenge your perception of how good you are, which could be seen as a way to improve or grow, a lot of times people having a hard time with that.
Right.
Like once you get in the room with a bunch of motherfuckers who could do what you do, you start questioning how good you are.
Right.
Or is this even mean anything? Is this even valuable that I can do this? Because everybody can draw, everybody can shoot, everybody can write. So what happens when you realize that it's a bunch of other people who want the same thing that you want? How do you grow from that? Yeah, no, talent is not enough. Imposter syndrome? What's imposter syndrome? When you think you're not worthy, think you're not qualified. But I think imposter syndrome has to do with the lack of knowing of the self. I don't think you know yourself and have imposter syndrome.
Right, because why are so many people saying that these days?
Because everybody looking for a label and a way to describe not knowing who they are. People questioning who they are. People are performing the character of whatever room they walking into. So it's like, I don't belong here. Yeah, I think we just on a deep, dark rabbit hole of a lack of knowing of the self. And every way that everybody could label themselves, they're labeling themselves. And nobody is labeling themselves as their self. Who are you? I'm myself. How do you know how to price your work, what you got to offer? Like, how do you know how valuable you are or what you're making is?
Yeah.
You don't. There's no way to know. When you don't know, you just gotta experiment. You gotta research and experiment. You gotta try to figure out what something like what you'd made is valued at. I always suggest what's the highest value for what you're making. And then look at where people are hustling what you do. So look, look at the high, look at the low. And then, I don't know, I was asking myself, do I see where I'm closer to? Am I closer to the bottom or the top? You know what I'm saying? And the truth of it is, if you comfortable putting a number on what you're doing, you ain't charging enough. Right. One of the rawest quotes I heard somebody talk about or say about artists is oftentimes we sell our work too soon. And when I heard that, I could relate to it because my thought is I don't want to try to make money off of this before I can figure out how valuable it is. And I think value comes oftentimes with how rare you are, what you do is.
Yeah.
Like how rare is it? Because the rarity can help you kind of determine the value. And if you are uncomfortable with the value of what you're making, you probably are pretty close to how valuable it is. So if your price ain't making you uncomfortable, it ain't enough. You're comfortable with the price being uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do then?
Oh, if people are uncomfortable with your price, those aren't your people. And if you want those uncomfortable people, then you got to figure out creating something that they can afford. But you don't have to devalue what you've made. You just have to transform what you've made into something that doesn't take away from the value of what you made, but other people can afford what you've made. You know, your painting's supposed to be $60,000. Put 20 of them in a book and sell that book for 50. You know, don't devalue what you've made, but try to figure out a complementary thing to what you've made that somebody who might be interested in spending less money can afford. Otherwise, just find who can afford the value. I mean, think about it. You want to sell one $60,000 painting, or you want to sell, I don't know, 1,200 books? You're going to still get that 60,000. You know what I'm saying? My personal journey. I mean, early on, I was trying to put a price tag on it. I was researching how much people were spending. I was putting a number on it because I thought putting a price on your work is how you sell your work. But then I realized that pricing your work, putting a price tag on it ain't how you sell it. Being in tune with it, being able to tell the story, the personal relationship, the connection, how you made it, like being able to talk about the work is how you sell the work. Me, I've gotten very comfortable with working to bring as much value to my work as possible when it's time to really move the work in volume. You know, so it's like what I do as an artist, I see as the resume for my work, which is what I perceive is what makes it valuable. Who I am, my subject matter, and all of the materials that I'm using. Because I don't make the work for somebody to buy it or not buy it. And I done been in enough rooms with people who can or cannot afford what I'm making, that the experience of being in the room is why I'm in the room. And I realize that you got worlds of people who spend money on art, and some people are decorating and some people are collecting. So some people understand art as an asset and value and increase in value, and they invest their money in that. And then you got other people who are trying to put something somewhere in their house as decoration. And the collector versus the decorator usually determines their perception of the value of what is in front of them, being able to even see the value or not. I don't know what to expect in terms of sales.
Oh, okay.
I know how to tell whether you're a collector or a decorator.
Okay.
The person who wants to know how much something costs is usually decorating. People who are looking to make an investment into some form of visual art, they're not there. They might have a budget for what they spend, but their curiosity is not how much the thing costs. They want to know more about the piece. They want to share with you what they're experiencing. So if somebody talking to you about their experience of what you've made, and they want to know more about this thing that's talking to them, that's someone who's trying to figure out if they can afford the experience that they're having, and can they take that experience home. And I ain't saying that decorators don't spend a lot of money, and I ain't saying all collectors can afford everything that they want. I'm just saying that people come to you with their motive. See, when you done dealt with some billionaires, you realize when you done worked with billionaires, worked for billionaires, you realize that some people operate knowing that you can't charge them more than they can afford. And that is a very good luxury for an artist to experience, because we don't even know that that exists. We're used to hoping that the person who likes it can afford it. Does it affect it? I mean, I would imagine it does affect it. I'm trying to think about how it affects it. The billionaire money is less of a emotional experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, the person who knows that you can't charge them more than they can afford is usually not the person who's really expressing to you the experience that they're having. How has being the older sibling shaped me as an artist? I think being the older sibling caused me to be extremely responsible with not a whole lot of attention. So I don't really require attention. Just so, and I think about me as an artist, and I think about people's assumption that I need attention, or I need people to like what I'm doing, pay attention to what I'm doing. I think being the older sibling, I think the older sibling is the one that gets the responsibility early.
Yeah.
So it's like I can remember kind of focusing on paying attention more than I required being paid attention to. Mm-hmm. I'm still fascinated that I'm putting these murals up and I don't put my name on them. But I'm intrigued at the fact that there's an investigation to figure out who did it. Or people going and figuring it out.
Going to figure it out.
You know what I'm saying?